Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a new pick a card reading, and this one is all about the next major changes that are going to be happening for you. So if you are curious about that, then you clicked on the right video. We're going to be giving you a psychic reading today all about what those next big changes are. Before we hop into the video, I do want to quickly mention, for those of you that sometimes wonder where I get my jewelry from, I know a lot of you already know, but in case you do not, I make these hand-beaded bracelets, and I also have other jewelry on the site too. There's some necklaces that I make on there. There's also just stuff that I sell, some nice crystal jewelry, and a lot of it is very high quality, but then we also have some pieces that are a bit more budget friendly as well, depending on what you're looking for and what you like. So if you're interested in getting some beautiful crystal healing jewelry, definitely go take a look at my site. It is called Luna Gem, and there is also a discount code that is just specifically for my YouTube audience. So if you are interested in using that, you can use the code YouTube to get 15% off of your order on Luna Gem. So all that information again will be linked down below. We also have some crystals on there if you're interested in getting crystals, all sorts of stuff. So definitely go check it out if you are interested in that. So I just wanted to quickly mention that for those of you that are interested. But with that being said, let's get into this video. So if you are new to pick a card readings, I'm going to give you a quick little rundown and explanation about how they work. So as you can see, we have 5 different groups. We have group 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can take a moment, pause the video if you'd like to find the group that you are the most drawn towards. And then once you're done choosing, there's going to be timestamps linked down below in the comment box as well as the description box, so that you can skip right ahead to your personal reading all about those next big changes that are coming your way. If you like to choose with crystals on the cards, and if you find that that helps you, then let's go ahead and get some crystals on these cards. Okay, so if you like to choose with the energy of crystals, over on group 1, we have some aqua aura quartz. Then on group 2, we have some moon quartz or girasol. Then on group 3, we have some rose quartz. On group 4, we have some opalite. And then on group 5, we have some amethyst. So again, take a moment, pause the video if you would like to find the group that you are the most drawn towards. Then once you're done choosing, again, there's going to be timestamps linked down below in the comment box as well as the description box, so that you can skip right to your personal reading all about those next big changes. So with that being said, let's get right into today's video. Okay, so group 1, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading, so let's get right into it. Okay, so group 1, we start off with the Fool's Gold card, and it says protective armor. We have the number 13 above, which equals a 4 in numerology. Number 4s represent our foundation, our confidence. They can sometimes represent our home life. And the protective armor can suggest that currently you may feel a little bit more shy, or maybe you're trying to really come out of your shell on something. Maybe you're trying to step into a new version of you. Maybe you're trying to open up in new ways, but maybe we feel kind of like hindered by some of our fears or some other kind of stuff that maybe we're using as protection. So it kind of seems like there is a breaking out of your shell that's going to begin to happen pretty soon in your life. So one of the next major changes is you are starting to open up much more. I see you letting down your guard, letting down your armor, and being able to feel a bit more comfortable in your own skin, and laying out a new foundation of who you are. I feel like some of you that are watching this have been wanting to aspire to something greater. You've been wanting to aspire to something more and step into a new version of yourself. Like, you may have certain idols in your life that you look up to and you're like, wow, if only I was that way, if only I could be like that. And I see you becoming that. I see you over the next year transforming yourself completely into this version of you that you can look up to. You're kind of going to be almost stepping into a more idol position yourself, to where you feel a lot more confident in who you are. So rather than kind of feeling like maybe an imposter, because we have fool's gold, right? So fool's gold is basically fake gold. So we may walk around feeling like we're not seeing our own worth. But the thing is it's almost like you see yourself as not good enough, but you really are. There could be something that you really aspire to, or something that you really want to do in your life. And you may be thinking like, who am I to do that? Who am I to go out and like try to do that? There could be some confidence conflict that's happening within you. And Fool's Gold is a reminder that you are very much worth it. You are very much worth it. And you are more than you could imagine. You are so much more than you could imagine. So that is like the first sort of message that we have coming up, is this huge transformation. And it's so interesting, you guys, because the next two cards that came out for you are these two animal cards. This one represents who you are right now and who you are becoming. So I wanted to pull out these cards just because we're talking about the next big changes in your life. So this is kind of like your life right now versus your life after these changes. And it looks like there's going to be a lot of personal transformation for you. And we're gonna look into some of the more like reality transformations as well, outside of just like your own internal personal self. But the cards are bringing up a lot of like your personal self to start off with. And the gazelle is connected to feeling really shy, but the gazelles are really beautiful. If you look at a gazelle, they're very majestic and they're very magical, and they honestly just look very beautiful. They're a very beautiful animal, but they are a symbol of shyness and kind of being a little bit more reluctant or apprehensive on things. And so if you feel like you are doubting yourself, or if you feel like you're trying to if you feel like you're maybe scared to do something, or you have certain fears holding you back from maybe seeing your worth and seeing your potential, I see that absolutely transforming for you, group number one, because you are going from the gazelle stage of your life to the unicorn. And both of them are very similar in a way because they have the same body type. Like a gazelle is sort of within that horse family type of creature, because it's similar to a deer, it's similar to a horse, it's similar to like, you know, those types of animals. And it's almost like you're realizing your true potential. It's almost like the gazelle realizing that it is similar to a unicorn, and in fact it has its own abilities, and it's like almost like you're becoming the unicorn, right? And it's interesting that the gazelles also have these big horns, and so does the unicorn. So this is sticking out to me because this is a representation of the third eye, so the third eye awakening. So the third eye deals with how we view the world, our perspective, and even our perspective of ourselves. And in terms of this popping up in your reading, it looks like your perspective of yourself is shifting. And there's also, we have a sun and then we have a moon here. So it's almost like you're awakening a much deeper part of you, realizing a deeper part of your worth, realizing a deeper part of your strength. Like I'm almost seeing, like the gazelle reminds me of a model that just doesn't understand that they're a model, if that makes sense. So I think there's something along the lines of maybe even your own appearance that you may be shy about, and that is healing for you. And there's going to be this realization of like, hey, you know what? I'm actually worth so much more than that. I don't know why I've been so shy and so like in my own shell. So there's going to be a lot of realizations around that. So the next few cards that we have for you, we have the wishing well and we have the home card. The fact that we have the home card coming up, and we also have the numerology of 4 appearing in your reading, this is really making me think that some of you may have some shifts and changes around your home life very soon. So some of you may be moving. Some of you may be stepping into more independence. Some of you may just be building a new foundation for yourself or feeling more comfortable, because that's the feeling of home, is feeling more comfortable. But I am getting some sort of feeling around your home life, like your home life is changing somehow. There may be like a new opportunity coming your way over the next year that is involving moving, or something about maybe feeling more comfortable or setting a new foundation for yourself in general. The wishing well, there's something that you've been really hoping for. And part of you, this mask is really significant because it's almost like, I keep getting this message of looking up to an idol, or wishing that you could put on a mask and it would just make you feel more confident. Like if you could just be in somebody else's shoes, it feels like you'd be more confident or something like that. And so it's almost like you've made a wish, almost like Aladdin, who thinks that he needs to be a prince in order to impress Jasmine, but Jasmine actually secretly likes him anyway, regardless of the fact of him being a prince or not. She likes him anyway. And in fact, she likes him better when he's not a prince. So it's almost like you are not seeing your own worth and you're trying to almost step in somebody else's shoes, or maybe trying to like look up at your idols and be like, how did they do it? Let me just copy that. Let me do exactly what they did. And let me just figure out, and then it'll make me feel better. If I could just do exactly what they did, I'd feel confident. Or, you know, if I had exactly their talents, I would feel confident. But the crazy secret here is almost like the story of Aladdin, where you're going to be better liked for just being who you are, rather than stepping into somebody else's shoes, rather than kind of like wearing a mask or trying to hide parts of yourself. Rather than trying to hide parts of yourself, you're going to be much better just being you. So for example, like trying to be perfect, trying to hide parts of yourself in order to come across perfect. So not necessarily being, you know, in somebody else's shoes, although that could be part of it, but there could also be a sense of maybe trying to hide parts of your personality, trying to hide parts of who you are, wearing a little bit of a mask to come across a certain way. But yeah, it's like the crazy thing is you are unique. You have these unique gifts to give, and I think that your wishes are being answered. Your wishes are being answered, and I think that you're going to be realizing your true potential. It's like you're wearing the mask as this form of protective armor, but you're worth so much more. I really see, like, it's almost like you're a unicorn here, and you're nervous about being a unicorn because maybe you're the only one, and you're wandering around and you're like, who do I fit in with? And you're looking at the gazelle and you're like, well, they have 2 horns, so maybe I could just like wear a mask and pretend to be a gazelle for a while, meanwhile not noticing your own worth of being the unicorn. It's like being gold and trying to put on a mask of fool's gold just to kind of like fit in. It's like there's so much more to you, and there's so much more value in you being yourself. And I think that's going to be a really big thing that you're going to be realizing. I think that this is going to be something that you're realizing over the next 3 months, but I think that there's going to be some major changes that kind of perpetuate from this realization that are going to be accumulating over the next year. And it could cause changes in your home life, where you live, all sorts of stuff like that. So with that being said, the next 2 cards, we have the study card, and we also have the imagination card. Some of you may be interested in learning new stuff. One of the next big changes for you is I think that there's going to be a new interest coming your way that really begins propelling you forward. This could be you even like honing in on a new skill. This could be you guys even going to school for something, like taking a course, taking a class on something. And then imagination. Back to the drawing board. I think your creativity is coming out within the next little while. It's like as you learn more about who you are and what you really want to do, and as you kind of like study this new thing and kind of incorporate new ideas into your life, I really think it's going to set off your imagination. And I think that this is going to help you embody who you really are and not feel like you need to wear a mask in order to fit in. So that is a big piece of newness kind of like coming into your life here. So with that being said, we're also going to shuffle some tarot cards and see what Spirit has to say about some more big changes coming into your life. So what else does Spirit have to say for group 1, all about the changes coming next? So we have the Hangman. So some of you have been feeling stuck. Some of you have been really maybe contemplating, in a stage of contemplation, or in a stage of feeling like, oh, it doesn't feel like I can move forward, or maybe your creativity, you have writer's block or something like that lately. And I really see this all changing, but I think it's because we've been kind of looking elsewhere for inspiration, whereas I think Spirit is coming through to say, like, it's time to look inward for your inspiration. Ooh, we also have the High Priestess coming through. This is another like third eye awakening kind of card. So some of you, I think, are realizing who you really are, and you're beginning to see yourself more clearly. Whereas before, it's like you couldn't see who you really were clearly. So it's almost like you're on a stage of finding yourself lately. And I see you finding so much more out about who you are and really starting to figure that out. Some of you have been really kind of like unmotivated by your current situation. And I am seeing like a new opportunity coming your way. I think it's going to open up a doorway to learning something new. It's almost like we are coming across something that is awakening a new interest. And this new interest, I think, is going to be so much more enticing for you. So yeah, and then we also have the Seven of Wands coming up as well. Some of you may be feeling like it's almost like your situation is kind of overwhelming in the moment. Some of you may feel unprepared for something in your life. You may feel held back and unprepared. You may feel like, oh, I need to study so much more in order to become sure of myself. Before I can do anything, I'm going to need to study so much more. I'm going to need to do so much more. We may be comparing ourselves to other people a lot. And I see you comparing yourself a lot less to other people. I'm seeing you becoming much more confident in who you are and being able to see yourself so much more clearly than you have before. I'm seeing a lot more clarity upon who you are and a lot more direction coming into your life so that you actually know where to go. And I am seeing changes around your home life. There's maybe been some unsatisfaction around your current home life, or maybe you're feeling, again, just sort of unmotivated and unenergized. And I'm really seeing that coming through as a big, major change for you. And feeling so much more, again, confident in your skin, confident in who you are. Let's see what else we have here. We have Share Wisdom coming up. You guys are definitely learning new things. I'm really seeing taking a course, going back to school, or maybe even learning something through your friends. Some of you may get a new interest into something through like a certain friendship. A certain friendship may inspire like a new interest for you. Maybe your friend's gonna talk about something and it's like, ooh, I'm interested in that. Like, tell me more. I wanna like research more of that. That's so fun and so cool. We also have Sacred Sexuality coming up, and this is a card that deals with creativity. So your creativity, I think, is heightening as well. When I also think about sacred sexuality, for some reason it's giving me an emotion of timidness, not necessarily around sexuality, but around something that is creative for you. Because sexuality deals with our creative energy, and so there's like a timidness around your creative energy. There may be a timidness of like, oh, do I even know what I'm doing? Some of you may want to start like a new endeavor, but some of you may be like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, how do I know that I'm going to be good at this? How do I build up this skill? And Spirit is coming through right now, basically saying that through kind of like learning a little bit more about it, I think it's going to build up your confidence, but it also comes down to the fact of just doing it, because we can study something all we want, but until we actually physically practice it, we're never going to get good at it. So such as like being a doctor, you can't train somebody to be a doctor or a surgeon just through textbook reading and researching. We're going to need to actually step out there and practice it and do it in order to kind of really learn it and become good at our craft and our skill. So Spirit is coming through saying to not be so shy and timid of your dreams, because part of the journey of becoming a master of your dreams is to step out there and do it, even when we don't feel ready. Our other cards that we have here, we have the card of Renew. So nature continuously renews itself year after year, so you don't need to be the same. This is a card letting you know that you don't need to stay the same. Just because you were shy once doesn't mean you can't become a public speaker. You need to renew yourself, right? Just because we don't see ourselves as a famous writer or as a master writer, maybe compared to the people that we look up to, doesn't mean that we can't be a writer. This is about renewing yourself, realizing that you don't need to stay in the same shell that you're currently in. So Spirit is coming through with a big message along the lines of that. And I really see you rebirthing yourself and renewing yourself into the type of person that you truly want to be, the type of person that you currently look up to. I see you renewing yourself and becoming that. We also have humility. Flowers are unaware of each other's beauty. They bloom regardless. What a perfect card to come up in your group, because I was feeling a little bit of that comparison energy, such as comparing yourself to other people and maybe not feeling good enough with that Seven of Wands energy that we had. So flowers are unaware of each other's beauty. They bloom regardless. So if you are currently comparing yourself to other people and getting down on yourself because maybe you're like, well, I can't do what they do, I'm not as good as them, or like, they beat me to this, they already did this, and I wanted to do that, and somebody else has already done it, or what are they going to say if I start doing it? Humility, okay? Flowers are unaware of each other's beauty, okay? You don't need to be aware of what other people are doing. You know, awareness is a good thing, right? But not to the point where we're holding ourselves back, right? So flowers are unaware of each other's beauty. They bloom regardless. Just because somebody else is maybe in the same shoes that you want to be doesn't mean you cannot bloom, right? Just because there's another flower next to you that's bloomed doesn't mean you can't bloom, right? Okay, and then we have surprises. Under the most ordinary stone is an undisturbed garden. So I think you are going to find, if you've been looking for a way to do something, or if you've been looking for a sign, you've been looking for an answer, I think you've been looking too hard. I think the how, or how you're going to do something, how you're going to attain something, I think you've been looking too hard. Sometimes under the most ordinary stone, so during the most ordinary circumstances, or during the easiest, on the easiest path, on the easiest road, is an undisturbed garden. An undisturbed garden is like, imagine coming across a garden that has, like, it's full of blooms, nobody's picked anything, nobody's had anything. So if you're looking for your own originality, sometimes we don't need to look so hard to find our own originality. Sometimes we don't need to look so hard to find our own sign and synchronicity and where we truly belong. Sometimes it's under the most ordinary stone. Sometimes it's on the easiest path. So if you just relax a little bit more, I know it's easier said than done, but if you just like maybe relax a little bit more and begin just finding your passion again, loving who you are, loving what you do, enjoying your life, sometimes you'll be surprised how easy the answers you've been looking for fall on your lap during the most ordinary, easy times. So rather than, you know, I'm getting an image in my head from my spirit guides of somebody losing the remote control. And you know, when we're like looking so hard, we're rummaging through the whole house and we're like, where's the remote for the TV? It's like completely gone. And then right when you calm down and stop, because when we think the remote is lost, we're obviously going to be looking in the most weird places because we think that it's lost, right? So if I think that the remote is lost, I'm going to be looking underneath the pillows. I'm going to be looking in between the cracks of the couch. I'm going to be looking underneath the couch, all these places. But the last place that we tend to look for things that are lost are right in front of us. And then you take a look at like the coffee table or something, and you're like, oh my gosh, the remote was right there the whole time. But sometimes we're like blind to that because we think that it's so lost. We think that it's so far away. We think like, oh, if I didn't see it right away, that must mean it's like somewhere completely different. I must have like completely lost it. So the message here that my guides are trying to give you right now, group number 1, is the message of when you calm down and you stop looking so hard, you might notice that the answer was right in front of you all along, but we just didn't see it because we thought that it had to be hard. And we kind of rattled ourselves up. So a huge message is to just like go back to the calmness, and the answer may just be waiting right for you right there. So we're also going to get one last card. This is like a guidance card. So for your group 1, what guidance card do we have for group 1? Let's see, we have surrender and release. Okay, so let me just focus in on that so you can see it. The thing you are holding on to so tightly with an iron grip fist, let it go. Breathe in, gathering the dust from every corner of your body until you no longer feel it lurking deep within the depths of your soul. Pause at the top of your breath and release it in a long exhale and steady breathe out. Pause again and ask, can you surrender to the final outcome? Can you surrender to how things come back to you? Can you surrender to the knowledge they may not? Surrender to all possibilities, accepting that what's in store is greater than anything you could ever imagine. Surrender, dear one, and watch how you rise. So, for example, we may be looking for that remote, wondering where it is, and we're like, where is it, where is it, where is it? But if we just surrender, we're going to find that it was right there. Can you surrender to it? So maybe we're frantically looking for it because we're like, I need it right now. I paid for a certain program and it's already on. It's been on for 10 minutes. I'm missing it every second. But the thing is, if we're still in that frazzled mindset, it may take us even longer to find it. That's the crazy part. But if we can just find a way to relax and to just be and to just do and to not be so anxious, we may notice that again, that path and that answer was right in front of us. And sometimes it's not in the place that we're looking. For example, when you're looking for something and you're like, it has to be here. It has to be in my car. I know I left it in my car. I know I left it in my car. It has to be right here. And when we're saying that, we cut off all the possibilities that it might be somewhere else, and we may be running into a brick wall because what if it's actually not there? What if we forgot that we brought something inside and it was, you know, in our bedroom, in our closet, in a purse, whatever. But we're like adamant, we're stuck on the fact that it has to be in the car. So when we get stuck on certain stuff, when we get stuck on, for example, somebody that we're interested in, or a job that we really want, or a path that we're like, it has to be on this path, it has to happen this way. When we do that, we sometimes cut ourselves off to what's meant for us. So if we can surrender to the outcome, if we can surrender to things and be like, you know what? I thought it was in this car, or you know what? I guess I lost the remote. Can we just accept what happened? And then all of a sudden when you do, what Spirit is trying to tell you is that your answers are going to become a lot clearer. It doesn't mean stop taking action, but it means stop taking action in an anxious way, in a nervous way. Come back down to your center, come back down to your core, and realize that maybe the direction we've been going in hasn't been quite the perfect direction. Maybe we need to like shift it up a little bit, have that humility, and realize that flowers are unaware of each other's beauty. Let's no longer compare ourselves. When we take action from a place of comparison, we usually kind of almost self-sabotage ourselves because we're not really being authentic to us, and we are trying to be something we're not, and we're forcing something, and usually the outcome of that isn't as good. Right? If you're focused on all of your flaws, our outcome is not going to be that good. It's time to bloom regardless. It's time to switch up our perspective a little bit and surrender, release it, renew yourself into the person that you need to be. Just become who you need to be and go at it from there. And I see that really happening for you. And I see you becoming more yourself and realizing who you really are. And your uniqueness is going to begin to shine through that. Your direction in life is going to become so much more clear. I see you getting interested in something new. I see you using your imagination more. I see tons more flow happening in your life. And it comes through a place of the real you. So that is what I'm seeing for you, group number 1. I hope you enjoyed this message. I hope it made sense for you. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. Okay, group 2, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading all about those next big changes. So let's get right into it. Okay, group 2, the first card that we have for you is the Passion card, and we have the number 14 at the top, which is a number 5 numerologically, and the 5s represent major change, so how fitting. But with the Passion card coming up, I believe that this is indicating that something that you're passionate about is about to change, or there's going to be a shift, and a shift in one of your passions, or maybe this is even awakening a new passion that was very unexpected. Fives are usually a very unexpected energy, and coming along with passion, I think that there's something new coming into your life that's going to spark your passions. I'm seeing a new spark coming in for you. This could be like a romantic interest. This could be like a new interest that you have in general regarding like skills, hobbies, or other things that bring out your sense of passion. But I'm definitely seeing a sense of passion here. And I'm getting the feeling that some of you may be kind of scrambled up in what you're passionate about. You may be passionate about a lot of different things, and maybe we're like, okay, what is my true direction? Where am I really supposed to go? What am I really supposed to do? Some of you may be in that boat. And in that case, I'm really seeing you being able to define a lot more about your direction and where you're going. If you already know what you're passionate about, I'm seeing some sort of shift or change with that passion. So maybe we're getting into more alignment with where we're actually meant to go and what we're supposed to do. And there's something new that's sort of changing. There's like a shift in the wind that's coming for you. So with that being said, the next two cards that we have the octopus and the raccoon as your cards kind of indicating what this change is going to entail. So these cards are kind of representing your life right now versus your life going through this change. And I'm seeing you becoming a little bit more open to maybe trying new things, and something that you used to tell yourself that you didn't have time for, all of a sudden you're going to find a way to fit it in your schedule because there's a new interest coming out. So the raccoon is a little bit more avoidant and a little bit more kind of scared in the shadows, and the octopus is like stretching its arms out wide. It's like, okay, let's dive into all these different things, which I feel like you're a person who has a lot of different interests. And coming from the raccoon, going into the octopus energy, I'm seeing you utilizing your creativity a lot more and being a little bit more flexible. Flexible with your time, flexible with, I'm definitely seeing flexible with your time. In fact, some of you may have been feeling unpassionate lately because we've been using our survival instincts. The raccoon indicates survival instincts and needing to do what we do to get by, needing to like sift our way around things, needing to really like figure stuff out, you know? And the octopus is a lot more freedom and being able to balance and juggle a lot more different things. So I'm also seeing in your world that there may be more stuff coming up in your future that's taking up more of your time, but it's happening in a better way because it's like things that you actually want to spend your time doing. So it's almost like we're okay with rearranging our schedule and our time in order to accommodate this new stuff. Whereas before we may have not seen that sort of time. Some of you may also have been night owls lately. The raccoon energy can symbolize that maybe we've been up late at night, and it could be because we're searching for something. We're searching for a solution. We're searching for something more. We've been kind of in the dark, scrounging up what we can, scrounging up our resources to get by, or scrounging up our time to get by. You know, there's an energy of scrounging something up with this raccoon energy, but we're going into the octopus energy, which is going to help you balance this out so much more, because I'm seeing all of this like scurrying energy, scurrying around, getting stuff done and scrounging for the last little bit of resources and, you know, digging in our trash basically to find what we need. So it's almost like this can represent not necessarily your resources and literally doing that. It can also represent, for example, like not having enough energy and needing to like scrounge up enough energy by just doing what we can to like get by, or it could even indicate that our diet has been kind of in the trash lately. Raccoon can also indicate that, whereas the octopus is a lot more balanced because he's incorporating a lot more things. He has a lot more that he's able to kind of juggle and play around with, which helps him in his creativity. So I see you expanding yourself a lot more, and I also see you guys getting through a really tough time. Both the raccoon and the octopus can be really good at getting through obstacles. I accidentally said octopus and obstacles like as the same word there for a second, and that was a little funny, but Raccoons are really sneaky. They can get into places, right? Octopuses are also not necessarily sneaky, but they can fit between tight spaces and like squeeze their way through something. So with these two cards, it's almost indicating to me like it's felt as if you've needed to like squeeze your way through something in life so far. Like you've just been squeezing by, whether that be financially, we've just been squeezing by, or it feels like maybe our time, we've just been squeezing by with our time and squeezing every last drop of what we have in our energy to make things work and to make things happen. So one of your resources, I believe, has been kind of drained lately. And one of the big changes, again, that I'm seeing for you is all of a sudden this ability to handle a lot more and feeling a lot more creative, because I feel like something passionate is happening in your life and it's just going to ignite a spark of energy and a spark of heat for you to where it's like, oh yeah, no, I got the time, I have the energy, I have it all. Our passions can almost make us feel like we have more energy than what we normally do when we're not living our most passionately. I also feel like you're going to be changing up your passions to where we're no longer needing to feel like the raccoons, where we're eating maybe a more trash diet. I say that just because, raccoons, they dig in the trash for food. But we might become more passionate about something to where we're incorporating more variety in our life. I see you having much more variety in your life with the octopus energy. And I just see you expanding your horizons so much more. And I think it's going to open up more doors for you. I feel like you're also going to feel like you're able to feel into more doorways, more opportunities, and be like, ooh, I can kind of think about this. I can kind of think about that. You're thinking outside of the box. And it is going to cause a lot of shifts and changes in your life. And they're going to be very positive. So the next couple cards that we have here, we have making a choice. Ooh, so are we going to stay the same and walk through the same old door? Or are we going to walk through something completely new and different that's offering something new for us? So there may be something coming up in your life where you kind of have to make a choice between taking on a new opportunity, saying yes to something, or kind of living in your same old means. So I do believe there's a crossroads kind of coming to you. Some of you may be at one already. Ooh, and then we have protecting treasure coming up. Some of you may be in protection mode over yourself, over your money, over your time. But I'm seeing like a new doorway opening for you. And some of you may be kind of reluctant to walk through that new doorway. But I think it's going to be very positive for you to kind of go in a new direction. I'm seeing a lot of positivity through trying new things. Some of you may be protective, though, over your finances and not wanting to spend money, but yet I feel like there's maybe an opportunity, something that you're really passionate about, something that is almost like really calling to you, and you're going to have to make a choice of like, am I going to invest in that? Am I going to spend my money on that? Even though it might feel a little bit tight. And I'm not telling you what you should or shouldn't do, but I really feel like there is an opportunity for this, and I do feel like it may open up more doorways for you. I was seeing more doorways opening, and then we have the making a choice card that has these doorways opening. So I don't know. It just seems like there's an opportunity for you to invest something. This could even be investing your time, not necessarily your money, but maybe your time. So something that you're really passionate about, such as maybe you're passionate about travel and you really want to invest some of your time there, but maybe it feels like we're already scrunched on time and it's like, where do I find that? But it's like making time, making room. I really see you being able to make room and being able to juggle that because it's something passionate for you. It's just going to give you more energy. We also have harvest. So some of you may also be really trying to bring in more abundance into your life rather than needing to just scrape by, whether that be, again, your time, your resources, your finances, even your health even. But I think that there's this new you that's coming up where you're making plans for your future. Some of you may have already planted those seeds for these new plans, and I really think that you're going to be able to harvest the rewards of that very soon. So some of you have been putting in some maybe hard work lately and using up a lot of your time to like push things, get things going, and I really see you being able to harvest and reap the benefits of that hard work. We also have magical powers, and this is making me feel like, for those of you that don't feel like you have enough time or don't feel like you have enough resources and things like that, don't feel like you have enough energy maybe, The Magical Powers card is coming up to let me know that you are like, there is so much more underneath that you are capable of, but you may be telling yourself like, oh, I'm not good at that, or like, I don't have enough energy for that, I can't do it. I think that you are like this phoenix rising through the ashes. I think that there's going to be more energy popping up out of nowhere, but it's because of this passion, it's because of this new interest that's coming into your life. And again, it could be romantic, or it could be like just a new interest in general, but either way, I think it's going to fuel you. I'm seeing it being your fuel for the future, and I see it bringing a lot of blessings your way. So let's go ahead and see some of the tarot cards that we are going to get on your group. So group 2. Let's see what we get for group 2. We have the World being reversed coming up. So there's something that's like incomplete. Maybe we're not wanting to close out an old chapter of our lives, or maybe we're finding it hard to kind of like close out an old chapter because we don't have what it takes. Or maybe it's like a lot of work to finally complete something. Ooh, and then we have the two of Pentacles being reversed. I'm not even surprised that that's coming up for your group, because that card indicates that your time management is kind of not really at its best right now. We may be finding ourselves incredibly busy, where it's hard for us to find time for certain things because we're saying yes to too many things. We have a lot on our plate. So I'm gathering the fact that a lot of you have a lot on your plate right now, and it may be hard for you to move forward, but I see this time ending for you. I want to make it clear that the big change that I'm seeing for you is the ending of this phase, and the World being reversed indicates that it's the closing of this chapter to where you won't need to like face it anymore. And I see you becoming more protective over your time, your energy, and your resources. You're protecting your treasure. So you're going to become a lot more protective over your time. You're going to become a lot more protective over where you spend your money. I think that you're making a lot of changes in your life because there's a passion that I think you really want to live. There's a vision of your life that you really want to live, but it's going to require some changes in order to get there. We also have the Ten of Wands being reversed. So I see you also kind of canceling plans and throwing certain stuff, discarding certain stuff that doesn't really serve you in the long run. So for example, like if we're always spending our money on going out and buying food when we could easily spend it also on groceries and save a bunch of money, even though groceries are expensive these days too. But like, you know, it's still, we can still better, like, we could still have a better budget in our life to do something like that, for example, right? And so the Ten of Wands being reversed kind of indicates to me that you're going to be discarding some of the things that you can let go of in order for you to like move forward and make a new plan, to protect your time better, to protect your money better, to protect your resources, to protect your energy more, rather than constantly spending your energy and spending it overboard. Or I see you setting better boundaries in your life because of this, and also then utilizing your energy for kind of better things. I'm seeing you getting more energy, but I'm also seeing you setting more boundaries in your life and letting go of the things that can be let go of. We also have the Queen of Cups upright, which I believe is representing you. And then we also have the Nine of Swords being reversed. Ooh, so the raccoon, when I mentioned that it seems like some of you have been a little bit nocturnal lately, maybe it's hard for you to sleep at night, maybe there's been some insomnia, that comes with the raccoon energy. But the Nine of Swords being reversed indicates that you are getting over that. And I'm seeing you being able to get really good rest, really good sleep. I'm seeing anxieties falling to the wayside, where you're not staying up late at night being like, where am I going to get my next paycheck, or how am I going to do this, or how am I going to do that, or how am I going to get enough time to do this, and having anxiety over those things. I'm really seeing that beginning to fall out of your life, where that's no longer a concern for you. I'm seeing you getting over that huge hump in your life of that hardship of needing to worry about that, needing to worry about your time and resources and energy. And we have the Queen of Cups. Your life is going to become so much smoother through this process. I'm seeing it beginning to smooth out, and I'm seeing you being able to get into emotional balance, where you feel really balanced and you feel like you're in flow again, and it no longer feels like a bumpy road. You know, you're no longer going down the rapids. The river is calming in front of you, and it's no longer feeling like you're in the rapids. You are just smooth sailing from then on out, and it is calm. There's like calmer waters waiting for you on the horizon. So let's go ahead and get some more cards here for you. We have these two cards coming up. We have hope. So an idea like a single acorn can start a wondrous forest. So some of you, yeah, there's a new thing igniting because we had that passion card. So there's a new thing that may seem small at first. It's like a new interest and it may seem small, but just like a single acorn, it can start a wondrous forest. One single acorn can grow into a tree. That tree can create more trees, and you can soon have an entire forest. So I'm really seeing you being able to harvest from this new idea, from this new endeavor. It's going to bring in more abundance and happiness for you. And I think it's going to turn into a lot more where it's a lot more of sustainable happiness as well. Sustainable resources. I'm seeing you being able to sustain your resources more. Then we also have transform. Emerge with beauty and grace from your cocoon. Yeah, you guys, to say the least, are going through some big changes. The number 5 that we had on top of this card kind of told me that, and the topic of this video is obviously about changes anyway. But the transform card coming up, I really think that your life is going to be wildly different. It's like a whole 180 on your life from right now, where I think you are going to have a lot more ease in your life because, again, this card says emerge with beauty and grace from your cocoon. So if you've been in protection mode in that cocoon and you've been wanting change, maybe we've been scared to plant ourselves somewhere and commit to something because we're like, there's a lot up in the air right now. There's a lot of change. I'm seeing you being able to plant yourself somewhere, find where you really belong, and being able to emerge, and with life becoming a lot easier. It's no longer going through that those crazy rapids anymore where we feel like we're being swung around everywhere. Also, where's that other deck? I wanted to shuffle this deck right here to get any last card for you. These ones are like some really nice oracle cards. We're gonna get a message from Spirit here. So, Group 2. What is Group 2's message from Spirit? We have detox, okay? So this says, too often we see the world and we instantly think body, diet, movement. Ooh, this kind of fits, doesn't it? Do we ever stop and think about how we can cleanse our minds? What mental clutter are we hanging on to? Perhaps unnecessarily. Sister, if it doesn't spark joy in your mind, in your body, or in your soul, discard it. Just as we have the power to select the food we eat, we have the power to select our thoughts. Detoxify our mind, body, and soul begins with one selected thought at a time. That's powerful. And we also had another one that's flipped over here as well. And this one says, so often we underestimate the power of rest. When our hearts feel heavy and our minds cannot quiet. Oh man, does this ever fit for you? Wow. Okay, so when our hearts feel heavy and our minds cannot quiet, it is often a sign that we are doing too much, pushing too hard, thinking too far. This concept of more is not always better. For our souls, sometimes the real power, the real abundance is in the power of less. So you may be kind of like spending so much time saying yes to all of these different things because maybe we have some FOMO, maybe we feel like we just need to spend our time doing so much because we feel behind. When we feel behind, we can sometimes get into the energy of like constantly the need to do. But when we spend our energy that way, we don't really have enough energy to do these things at the best of our ability, and the quality can kind of go down. And when the quality goes down, we may not necessarily be harvesting as much. When we plant seeds too close together, because we're so worried about not having enough food, sometimes those seeds, when they're too close together, they'll steal nutrients from each other and they won't grow as big, and then our harvest will be a lot smaller. And whereas if we just took our time, planted the seeds far enough apart, instead of scrounging our resources and feeling like we don't have enough dirt, if we just plant less seeds and far enough apart, they're going to bear a lot more fruit than if we didn't. So that is a huge message coming through that I'm getting for you about the power of less. We don't necessarily need to do more to make more. Sometimes we need to do less to make more, depending on how it's it's consuming our energy, right? Just think about planting two plants right next to each other. They're going to be combating for nutrients in the soil, and they won't get as big, and they may not even fruit. Plants need to be in a really good condition before they even bear fruit for us, right? So if you are trying to squeeze out and get some lemons from life, we're not going to get those lemons from life, or however the saying goes. When life gives you lemons, right, you make lemonade. But you won't even get the lemons. You won't even get the fruit of it. I know that that's technically like a bad saying, but you know what I mean? My mind is scrambled right now. It is almost the full moon in Capricorn. It's like a super moon, and my mind is like, it's here, there, and everywhere right now. So you know what I mean. You know what I mean about the fruit example. I feel like you guys know what I mean. So that is what we have for you, group number 2. Spend your time more wisely. Sometimes we just need to work smarter, not harder, and we get the result that we've wanted. So it's about putting your passions and doing things that make you feel passionate, and only doing the things when you feel passion rather than forcing passion. If some of you have been forcing passion, you may yield a not so good result. But if we do things when we feel passionate, it yields a much better result. So that is what we have for you, group number 2. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. Hello, my beautiful group 3s. If you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading all about those next big changes. So let's get right into it. Okay, group 3. One of the next big changes that I see for you on a personal level, we have the ruby, which is self-actualization. So what self-actualization represents is realizing your talents, realizing your gifts, and also becoming so confident in yourself that you don't question yourself. Like if anybody else, thinks of you a certain way, it doesn't bother you because you really are more self-aware. You know who you are. And just as somebody could like walk in and say you really like a certain artwork, and then somebody looks at it and they're like, oh, I don't like it. And you're just like, okay, well, I really like it, so I don't really care if you don't like it because I like it. Like that type of thing. I see you starting to like yourself so much and starting to love yourself so much with this ruby card that whenever somebody else has their own opinion, like it doesn't even faze you. It doesn't even bother you. In fact, it comes to your mind a lot less. Whatever others think about you, it is coming to your mind a lot less. It is something that you're not really focused on. And self-actualization very much connects to your talents and gifts and being able to realize them, being able to put them into action, and being able to kind of utilize them in the real world. So I really see you on a personal level going through a lot of personal transformations and really starting to see your gifts and who you are and being able to actually utilize them. So I see you kind of shifting your path in order to actualize a lot of your dreams. So some of you that really envision yourself doing a certain thing, or you really desire to see yourself in a certain position in life, I see you gaining those desires, gaining those dreams through different talents and through this new kind of like love that you have for yourself. Because when we think less of ourselves, it's really hard for us to kind of go into something and do something, because when we're not confident, it can be really hard to see ourselves being the best that we can be at something. And it's really hard for us to even go after our dreams when we don't have that confidence, because we're already not really believing in ourselves. So a huge transformation. Somehow I'm seeing you believing in yourself more than ever. I see you almost like looking in the mirror and being like, you know what? I'm really proud of who I am. I've become something that I am really proud of, and I'm going to go after it. And I see you going after bigger dreams that you kind of maybe didn't see possible for yourself in the past. And I'm really seeing you being able to do this. Also, numerologically, the 2 and the 9 equal a master number 11 in numerology. So master number 11, you've gone through some hardships in the past, group number 3. You've been through some stuff. And if you feel like currently you're going through some difficulty in life, like maybe you're being faced with certain challenges and certain obstacles that you've been having to like really push through and work through in the moment, This is actually part of the journey of this self-actualization for you. So a huge message that I'm getting from the universe, because master number 11 talks about being able to walk through a doorway, but master number 11, they only become the masters when they conquer something. It is a level of high learning. Master number 11 indicates that you are going through some higher learning, and higher learning comes through challenges and comes through obstacles, right? So for example, when we're learning, we're having to push through challenges, we're having to push through obstacles, we're having to observe whatever's going on around us so that we can make changes and learn from those situations. So sorry, somebody just like zoomed by on the road, but my microphone probably picked that up. But yeah, what I'm seeing for you is that these challenges are actually building you up, right? So someone who had to, make like a $1 million company, for example, they've probably gone through a lot of different challenges to the point where they know exactly how to run a $1 million company. Whereas, if it just falls on your lap and then you're like put into it, you're going to be like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, how do I run a business? How do I, deal with employees? How do I do all this? Like, it's not going to really make sense, right? And so even though your challenges in the moment may not make sense to you, and you're probably like, why am I going through this hardship? Why am I being faced with this? Why am I having to like push through on these certain things in my life? This is actually happening for you because the universe is coming through being like, honey, you are meant for so much more, but in order for you to build up that strength, in order for you to have the wisdom and knowledge to step up to the next level, we're gonna have to kind of face through a little bit of grit, right? And go through a little bit of challenge. Just like if we're wanting to compete in gymnastics, we're gonna have to go through some challenges of learning how to do, some aerials, some backflips, some all this sort of stuff. And that can be a challenge, especially when we're first starting out, when we're going from 0 to 100, right? If you want to go from 0 to 100, there's going to be certain challenges that we have to overcome, all sorts of stuff. So the universe is coming through right now, group 3, to tell you that your challenges right now are happening for you. They're happening for you because it's building you up into who you're meant to become. So even though, again, it may not make sense right now, and the universe is like, it's going to make sense once you're out of it. It's going to make sense in the bigger picture once you kind of get closer to that destination, right? So whenever you're going through all those challenges, that is the master number 11 energy happening in your life right now. Some of you may even be in a master number 11 year numerologically. And if you want to know what type of year you're in, you take your day of birth, your month of birth, and you add it to the current year. And you want to add these numbers and you want to keep adding them until you get like a single digit or a double digit. So if it lands on 11, you don't break that down any further, although it could also technically it's also the 2 energy as well, because the 1 and 1 equal a 2. So if you're unsure about how to add up your personal year numerology, there's always Google. Google has calculators. It can help you out if that doesn't make sense. But basically, that is how you find out your personal year number. And some of you may be in a master number 11 year, or you may just be coming up to that right now. Or some of you may have just completed that and maybe now you are in a 3 year or something like that. So, for example, this kind of energy that you're going through is building you into the master in order to bring you to that next stage in your life. And I really see you guys, group 3, looking into the mirror after all of this is said and done. And I really see you looking into the mirror being like, you know what? I wouldn't choose to be anybody else. I love who I am, and I am so proud of myself and how far I've come. And I see you just being so much more confident, and there's like a powerful energy. The ruby, I know I'm like going off on this card right now, and we have so many more cards to go through, but the ruby is such a powerful energy, group 3. It is such a powerful energy. I also see you healing your heart. So if some of you have been through heartache and maybe you were still kind of like dealing with some pain there, I really see you overcoming that and stepping into a new level of confidence. And I see you attracting new people in your life, group 3. There's new people coming into your life. I am seeing new like really profound, deep relationships coming into your life that are on your level. And I really see you being like a boss person, like boss babe, boss man, whatever it is that you want to label yourself. But I'm seeing this boss energy kind of like coming through, and it's totally confident. Like it's very different from, I think, who you are right now. And even if you do kind of resonate with this energy already, I think it's kind of like increasing more. Like you're really getting to this new level of maturity, and it's a new height entirely. And it's going to be great. And I think that this is happening within the span of 2 years. So this is all accumulating within the next 2 years. You may be feeling this energy already. This may be resonating with you already, or maybe you're just on the cusp, on the precipice of entering this energy. But this will all be sort of building for the next 2 years. And I think in 2 years from now, you can look back on this time and you will be this ruby energy. All of you are going to be this ruby energy, and it's going to be wild. It is going to be wildly different from who you are right now. So that is what we have there. The next couple cards that we have for you, we have the starfish and the golden egg. So both of these are very powerful cards. And basically, the starfish is representing the energy of you right now. And then the golden egg is representing the energy that you are coming into and becoming through this transformation, through this big change that you're about to go through. The starfish is such a beautiful, magical kind of creature. And if you think about the star, there's an energy here of like a focus point. This is a focus point, and there's something here that wants to shine. There's something here that wants to emanate and come out. So there's a part of you right now that wants to emanate. It wants to come out. It wants to come out of its shell and be rebirthed, right? And it's interesting that we have the golden egg right after, because I really think that you're in this cocoon stage. I'm seeing this energy within you that really wants to be birthed. It wants to emanate. Emanate is like the perfect word that I can describe this as. There's a part of you that is so ready to emanate and come out. But you're in this cocoon stage right now where you are going through series of learning, and I'm feeling this really good energy that's about to start cracking open within these next 2 years. And I really see you coming out of your shell, and this like incubation stage that you're in, you are having a whole rebirth. The new you that's being created during these next 2 years is very powerful. And I really think it's almost unrecognizable to who you used to be, like, in the previous years of your life. I really think that this is a completely new version of you, but it's also the truest you. It's the truest you at your core, but it's kind of like maybe we've been repressing that part just because of maybe we were shy, or maybe it just didn't feel right, or it's been incubating. It's basically been incubating. It wasn't ready to come out, but right now it's sort of like emanating, and it's like, ooh, like we're ready to shine. It's like the starfish has been incubating almost in this golden egg, and you're almost gonna like crack open and be this sort of more starlight energy. And I think that there's just so much more confidence that wants to come out. There's so much more that I think you want to do with life. And even if that doesn't make sense right now, I think it's going to make sense within these next 2 years as it builds, because you're building like a new version of you. And I think that there's going to be new interests that start coming your way, group 3. There's going to be all sorts of new stuff that's sort of building within you as you're going through this sort of cocoon stage over the next 2 years. And there's this, again, self-actualization, and the ruby is very passionate, but it's also like very much self-love. It's very confident. It comes with a very confident energy. So yes, very good cards here. The next 2 ones that we have for you, my beautiful group 3. Oh, look at, you guys are group 3, and we have the angel number 33 coming out. Okay, so after you're done this stage, you're going to be on a high level. I think it's going to be one of the highest that you've felt, because I think you're just opening up way more doors for yourself than you thought possible. Peaks of joy is also, I was kind of getting this feeling when I was looking at this group of these these peaks of joy happening throughout this cocoon stage over the next 2 years, where you just feel like you're on cloud nine. Like, look at this. She's riding the cloud. She's on cloud nine. She's soaring with the birds. Like, it just feels like a very high energy. And I think that this is going to be happening as you sort of start breaking out of this shell, but it's only going to happen naturally. It's going to happen when you're ready. You're going to have these moments of like breaking out of this shell one by one, letting the inner you start to emanate out. And it's just so beautiful. Like, it's such a beautiful energy that's sort of accumulating and transpiring over the next little while. Ooh, and we also have goblins. Okay, so interesting that I was feeling a lot about new people coming into your life. Also, goblins, these are little fears that you may have within. So some of you maybe have certain fears, or almost like, you know how we all have that little voice in our head that tells us like, oh, don't do that, you're not good enough. Or like, what if this happens? Or what if that happens? You know, we all have that part of us that questions if we're really capable. I think you're breaking through that and facing these sort of fears, facing these goblins over the next 2 years to really start to get rid of that, so that you feel so much more ready and confident to kind of break out of this shell. And it's like that little, I don't know, like that little voice within that's telling us that we can't do something. I really think that you're breaking out of that. But also the goblins is letting me know that there's certain maybe people in your life that you won't resonate anymore. Not calling them goblins by any means. I don't think you necessarily have goblins in your life, but like, I'm just seeing that you're going to start resonating with a whole new crowd of people, a whole different like group of people, not necessarily crowd because I don't see a ton of them, but I'm seeing like maybe like 3 or 4 new really important friendships that are going to really come into your life over the next year and a half. I think that you're going to meet these people over the next year and a half, and they're going to be very special people in your life, and they resonate with you on a whole different level. Okay, so the next couple cards, guys, look at these angel numbers here. We have another 33 and then a 44 here. Okay. Angel numbers are coming through. The 33 here is networking with new people. The 33s are also communication, coming up with new ideas, learning new things, studying new things. The 44 is setting a brand new foundation for yourself and something that's very reliable and long lasting. So there's a whole new beginning, literally. Some of you may see a lot of butterflies or other winged creatures as signs. And if you do see stars or butterflies a lot over the next while, or any sort of winged creature or any sort of star-shaped sort of thing, if you see some signs like that, this is a sign that you're on the right path and that you are, you know, making all the right choices. And it's also a sign that anytime that you're going through challenge or hardship, if you see stars or winged creatures such as butterflies or moths, it is a sign that you are going through a major transformation and that those hardships are not going to last forever, and that you're coming out of it with so much wisdom and so much knowledge, and it is happening for you. So those are the universe's signs letting you know that everything is like okay and everything is turning out all right. And to trust the process, because just like a butterfly, like it goes through a literal cocoon stage. Butterflies and moths, like it's crazy what they have to deal with and what they have to go through. If you actually search up what happens to a caterpillar when it goes into a cocoon to become like a butterfly or a moth or whatever, its whole body turns into liquid. How freaky is that? Like, imagine going through that process. Like, oh, that would be crazy. So this is a reminder that any time that you're going through anything hard and it feels like you're stuck in a shell, it feels like it's hard to break out, and it feels like, I'm going through all of this tension, this is giving you your wings, okay? There's a reminder here that it is giving you your wings. So if you see winged creatures, remember that all of them, basically all winged creatures, I can't think of a winged creature that doesn't go either in a cocoon stage or an egg stage. And like obviously a lot of us come from eggs in the beginning, right? Like even humans kind of do in a way. But there's a breaking free moment. There's a birthing moment that's happening for you. So again, if you see winged creatures, it is a reminder that it is creating you into who you need to become so that you can spread your wings and soar even higher. It's a symbol of ascension. It is a symbol of also freedom. So just keep that in mind whenever you see those signs. We also have the creativity card. So you are also getting to a new level of inspiration around you and a new level of energy to where you're going to see the world in a new way. You're feeling more creative and you feel like you have more freedom creatively. You feel like there's more doors opening for you. And I feel like you can get more creative with your life within the next 2 years as you kind of step into this new version of you. You're going to be able to get more creative with your life, because I feel like you're just going to feel like more is available to you, because this new version of you is like, of course I can do that. Of course I can do that. You're going to believe in yourself so much more. And so the amount of dreams or creativity that you could step into is going to really broaden over the next couple years. So yeah, whole new you, whole new doors opening over the next couple of years. So with that being said, we're going to get some tarot cards on this group now. So group 3, let's go ahead and shuffle these cards to get some more info from Spirit all about these big changes. So let's see what else Spirit has to say. Group 3, these next big changes. Okay, so the moon being reversed, group 3, is a very powerful card because it indicates that you are going to be overcoming fears. And if you felt reluctant to go down a certain path in your life before, if you felt like, oh, I can't do that, I don't have what it takes, or that's kind of scary, like what if it doesn't work out for me, all these different things, all those goblin things that we were talking about. The moon being reversed is when we overcome those fears. And sometimes these fears are like subconscious. We've picked up on them from our childhood, from our parents. Maybe they told us that we couldn't do something, you know, all sorts of different areas that we get certain fears from. The moon being reversed, again, indicates that you're completely getting over those fears and you're able to really walk down a new path without having crazy fears holding you back. We also have the 7 of Pentacles upright. You are going to be planting over the next 2 years. I see you planting new ideas and learning how you can exactly make them happen. You're in a learning stage right now, and you're going to be in a learning stage over the next 2 years of growing a brand new garden. And I mean that metaphorically, because what I mean is like planting ideas and pursuing those ideas and figuring out exactly what you need to know in order to grow them to their full fruition. So yeah, I see you really making new plans in your life over the next 2 years. That's one of the biggest changes that I'm seeing for you, is like brand new plans, brand new you that's coming out, because more is available to you. Again, friendships are changing for you. Some people you're gonna see a lot less in your life. And when that happens, the universe is reminding you, like, don't be afraid of that, because those friendships are falling away because they no longer resonate with you, and you are going to be inviting in new people into your life. They're just going to come naturally. So trust that process. You even may go through a stage of being a little bit more alone. And again, we have a 3. We have so many 3s popping up here. So there's new people coming in your life for sure. But there could be a period of maybe being a little bit more inward and a little bit more hermit, recluse, just to do some like more inner planning and reflection is what I'm seeing. So yeah, so don't be worried if, you know, certain things happen with other people in your life, because those are being replaced by people that are going to resonate with you a whole lot more. So let's see. Perfect. These are our last 2 tarot cards, and then we're going to get into some other cards just to get more information at the very end. But we have the Page of Pentacles and the 4 of Cups being reversed. So the 4 of Cups reversed indicates that you are going to be taking on new opportunities. You may be in a stage right now where you are looking at everything that you currently have and it's not bringing the most satisfaction that it could be bringing. Like maybe once we got satisfaction from these things, but we're looking at all these old things and we're kind of like, it's not really vibing with me anymore. Or you may have even begun certain projects and we're kind of just like not feeling the same way about them anymore. And it does help us to kind of learn discipline to like have, to still complete things. Otherwise we're kind of learning that we don't need to complete, we can just continue to move on. And usually we don't really get anywhere when we have that mindset. But what I'm seeing for you, Group 3, is there's like a new opportunity coming your way. There's something brand new coming for you that's going to really hone in on your attention. I feel like you're really finding where you belong. I also think you're learning the discipline to actually push things through to fruition. But I think you're going to have more clarity on what exactly you want to push through, if that makes sense. There may be certain things in your life that you kind of don't want to push through anymore, but then you're also learning the discipline to push certain things through that you do really want. But it's going to require more discipline in your life, because sometimes when we're pushing something through and we have to go through like the harder parts. So for me, like I love reading tarot on YouTube and I love making jewelry, but then I had to learn about business and like learning about like taxes and learning about numbers, and that part's a little bit hard. And then you have to learn about like how to like grow your channel, grow your audience so that you can even have a business in general. Learning those things was not that exciting for me, but what I actually do, the creative part's super exciting for me. But some people kind of fall off the map because there's other faucets that you need to kind of like learn in order to actually be successful in that area, right? And so what you're learning over the next 2 years is how to push through on your dreams, even through the mundane parts of it, even through the more boring parts of it that aren't really that creative. You're learning how to push through and have this discipline to get it done anyway. And this is really going to excel you forward. And so that makes sense why we also have this Page of Pentacles here, because the Page of Pentacles indicates that you are learning more willpower and how to take an idea and make practical plans in order to make it happen. And you realize that, sometimes it's going to take some hard work, and sometimes success just doesn't happen overnight. In fact, for most people, it doesn't happen overnight. I was making videos and making content for over 5 years before I ever got even a penny for any of my work. So, sometimes it just takes some discipline, right? So I'm really seeing for you that there's going to be this realization of discipline, and there's going to be a lot of passion and willpower backing whatever you're doing, to the point where it's really going to bring you to your success, because you are learning how to get there and have that sort of motivation, that drive, and how to keep that momentum going. When you keep that momentum going, things start happening exponentially over time, and that momentum keeps pushing you forward, and it just gets easier and easier. But beginning something and pushing through that hard stage, that is where the hardest part is. But then slowly, as you continue to make that momentum, it kind of almost begins slowly starting to sustain itself a little bit. But of course, it always needs guidance from us and whatnot. But yes. So with that being said, let's get into some of our other cards to end off this reading. These are going to be some guidance from Spirit. So let's see what we have here. For a lot of you, I want to say I'm seeing some career changes as big changes. I also see your financial future changing a lot. And I see you being able to create a lot of abundance in your life. And you're going to be having friends that are kind of really on your same level, your same wavelength, okay? We have retreat. So spoil yourself in the morning mist. Breathe in nature's sweet scents. So I do see you kind of going on a little bit more of an inward journey, kind of like what I was saying about being in a little bit of a hermit stage next. And over the next 2 years, you might notice yourself kind of a bit more in a retreat stage. That is fine. It's because there's a whole new renewal happening. And we need to retreat. If we're going to go into our cocoon and spread our wings and become a brand new self and rebirth ourselves, it is going to we're going to have to retreat, right? When a butterfly is becoming a butterfly and it's in the cocoon stage, it doesn't have a friend in there with them. You know what I mean? They're completely transforming themselves. And it's not saying that you have to cut off your friends or anything like that. Of course, as humans, we don't go into a literal cocoon, but It's a very similar type of energy. So we may be noticing that we're spending more time alone, just more time. It doesn't mean that it's like solely alone and whatnot, but just more time alone. We also have tons of cards that just wanted to come out here. But definitely more alone time, but it's kind of realigning you to a new you. It is you creating yourself into a new you. So it's going to be very beneficial. We also have the opportunities card. So I'm not even surprised that this one's coming up. I do see more doorways opening for you. So unfurl like a fern, even without warm sunlight. So even if you're not confident, it is time to unfurl. It is time to open up. It's time to crack open. So I really see, again, this is Spirit's message telling you that one of those big changes is you're going to be unfurling, even when you don't feel confident, because this is going to be what builds your confidence. You're going to unfurl, you're going to come out of your shell, and you're going to realize that you didn't need to hide your light. You didn't need to hold back, right? But of course, it was all part of our journey anyway. But I see you opening up. And through that opening up, you are gaining much more confidence. We also have the joy card. So spread seeds of joy like a wildflower, and no doubt you'll revel in the result. So whenever we take action from a place of joy, we receive joy. So for example, if you are smiling and waving at people on the street, they're likely to, it might make their day, and they're likely to wave and smile back. You know, whenever we give love, whenever we give joy, that is usually what we also receive. So we also have the card of kindness. Take respite by a pond and be kind to yourself and others. Ooh, I'm seeing this hugely about yourself and being more kind to yourself. I'm also seeing you kind of in this high state of joy with this Peaks of Joy card that we had. This card kind of indicates this sort of joy that you have where it's almost like there's a skip in your step. And I'm seeing this like whole joy, and yeah, it's interesting. We have Peaks of Joy and the Joy card coming out. That's interesting. So Peaks of Joy and Joy. I definitely see you getting into a new state, a new energy. It's a whole new you, and it's almost like you walk around feeling so high and so good, and it just emanates from you. Again, we have that word emanate coming to my head. It emanates from you, and people feel it. People are going to feel it from you, and it's like a whole different you coming out. We also have the card of trust. The robin trusts her wings, not the branch she sits on. So this is about trusting yourself, not placing your trust in other people, not you know, and we can trust other people. It's not saying you can't trust other people, but it's not placing all of our trust into others, not placing all of our trust into the external world, the external circumstance. This is realizing that we're in control. So a robin trusts her wings, not the branch she sits on. The branch she sits on is temporary. So where you are right now, it is temporary, but trust your ability to overcome whatever comes your way. Trust yourself. Don't put it on the rest of the world. So hopefully that's making sense. Don't put trust on the external circumstances that you have in your life to get you by. Trust yourself, because the power sits within you, okay? So that is a big message there. And then we're going to get our last message from these oracle cards. In fact, there's one that is still sitting on the counter. There we go. Okay, so let's see. Group 3. What does Spirit have to say for group 3? Group 3, what does Spirit have to say? Okay. We have the card of habit. Okay, so let's read what this says. This is Spirit's last message for you, and it says, "It is often said that the secret to our success is hidden within our daily routines." Ooh, that fits with that Page of Pentacles energy. Okay. "For all big things are really just the sum of a million little things." So if we're wondering, how do I get to my big goal? It starts with those little steps, those little changes. The little changes are going to bring you there, okay? So for all the big things are really just the sum of a million little things, done consistently, done diligently over time. Okay, so we have to do them consistently, diligently, over time, and that is what accumulates and compounds over time into the big goal. And how beautiful is it to know that we have the power to create our reality one short day at a time. Yes, one simple choice at a time, one sweet thought at a time. So tell me now, can you see how your habits are creating your reality today? That was a powerful message to end us off. Group number 3, that fit in so well with this reading. I loved it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this reading, group number 3. I hope it resonated. I hope it made sense for you. And that is what Spirit had to say today. So I'm sending you all of my love. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. Okay, my beautiful opalite group, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading, so let's get right into it. All right, group 4, we have the fruitfulness card and also the good fortune card. So we have Alexandrite and red coral. An interesting thing that I'm seeing, we have a number 8 numerologically over here, and then a number 2. There's new plans that are being put into motion very soon in your life that are going to bring out a lot of good fortune your way. I'm seeing an increase in finances. The 8s can correlate to good luck and to also really good success financially and within business. So one of the big changes that I see for you is your financial world changing. I'm seeing this happening over the next 2 years for you. So it's going to be accumulating over the next 2 years, and you're going to start to see increases and results within these 2 years as it goes on. And I think that you're going to get to a whole new place within the next 2 years. I'm seeing you making a lot of changes and a lot of like new plans that are bringing you to like a whole new level. So if some of you are struggling financially at the moment, or if some of you are just kind of like plateauing and you are wanting to take things to the next level, but you really just don't know how in the moment, over the next 2 years, I see you gaining ideas and getting like brand new plans coming your way, brand new inspiration coming your way. It's almost like good luck is like on the horizon for you. Something's happening. It's like we're spinning the wheel of fortune. We're like, okay, what's going to happen? I don't know. There's some unexpected changes, but it's almost like these changes are the accumulation of your entire past that are now accumulating to this moment, and it's guiding you to, you know, kind of make these interesting plans and adjustments. And the next big change is definitely a change in your finances and what you own. Your material world is shifting. So if some of you have some big material dreams, such as buying a home or buying a car, starting a business, opening up a business, some sort of material or financial shift is happening for you over the next 2 years, where it's going to accumulate. And I think it's, oh my gosh, and I even just looked at my camera and it was 222. I've been recording for 222, so 2 minutes and 22 seconds. There is a lot of planning that is going to bring you to new harmony. If you've been seeing the number 2 around group 4, especially like double 2s or triple 2s, anything like that, this number is telling you that there's a new pathway opening up for you and you're connecting to a new pathway. And if you've been asking a question, 2s indicate that it is bringing you to your answer. 2s is the energy of like point A to point B, getting from point A to point B. It's the planning, it's the journey, and it's also gaining the answers that you need. So if some of you have been really asking certain questions about how do I do this or how do I do that, that plan is coming your way. The answer to your question is coming your way, and it's going to be a lot clearer very shortly. So trust the process. I'm really hearing this this sentence from the universe, and like Spirit is basically just saying, trust the process, because you're surrounded by 2 energy right now, and it is leading you to the path of your answer and to the path that you are desiring to be on for the actualization of your dreams or your desires, or for some like financial kind of success. So the next 2 cards that we have the Firefly and also the Butterfly. Interesting, the Butterfly was a prominent symbol in the last group, but it's interesting, both of these are air sign cards. Both of them have wings, which is really interesting. And the firefly reminds me of this initial spark. There's a spark coming your way. And I'm feeling like this is an answer. It's almost like an answer to what you've been asking. If you've been asking like, universe, show me a way. I need to know my path. I need to know what I need to do next. The firefly indicates that this answer is coming to you, and it's going to come to you in a small spark. It's going to feel like a small spark, but it's a lot of energy behind this spark. And it's calling you to act upon it. And if you think about a firefly, they light up at night. Nighttime symbolizes the energy of kind of not really seeing the path ahead, not really knowing where to go. But then the firefly lights things up. It's like this inner magic. So there's almost going to be this internal inspiration, and it may seem small, and it may kind of be something where we're feeling it and we're like, okay, but like, is that going to be the right path? Is that the right path? We may still be questioning it because it's that small spark. It's not really lighting up everything around you like the sun, but it's giving you enough information, and it's like, follow it, just follow it. It's like what I'm seeing for you, what spirit is really trying to show me right now, metaphorically, is as if you're standing in this enchanted forest, but it's nighttime and you're not really seeing where to go. And you've been asking the universe, like, show me the path to my goal, show me the path to my dreams, show me where I'm supposed to go next, show me how I can get there. And it's, completely nighttime, we're in an unfamiliar place, and it's like we don't really see anything. And then it's like this little spark, this little idea is coming to you, and it's that firefly. And it just pops up in front of you, and you're like, ooh, I can see a little bit more. And then the firefly keeps moving. And this is symbolic, this is metaphorical for that inspiration that you're going to get. It's a small inspiration that you're not really sure where it's leading you because you can't see the end goal, but there's this intuition like, oh, I should follow this. I should follow this little mini spark that I'm getting. And the firefly is like urging you, like, follow me, follow me. And it's like you're stuck in this enchanted forest, but you're not really stuck. It's opening you up to new magic, okay? So that is what this firefly is symbolizing. So the firefly is this answer that you've been waiting for. So follow it, follow that little spark, that little inspiration that you're getting, because this is leading you where you need to go, okay? The firefly is leading you there. That little spark, that little inspiration is leading you there. And this is going to be where you kind of transform into the butterfly energy. And what I was telling the last group is that the butterfly energy is very powerful, especially because it goes through a cocoon stage of rebirthing and then spreading its wings. And butterflies are not necessarily nocturnal like the firefly. Some of you in the moment may be going through a more of a nocturnal stage. Maybe you're finding it hard to sleep at night. Maybe you're finding it kind of like, maybe you wake up at certain times of the night when usually you don't. And all of a sudden it's kind of like, oh, well, I'm up more at nighttime. And maybe we're just finding it hard to like get a full night's rest. If so, that's a good indication that you're in this firefly stage, okay? And you may wake up in the middle of the night and you may get a random idea coming to you or a random inspiration. Some of you may even get random anxiety in the middle of the night. But this is letting you know that like change needs to happen. You're on the precipice of change. So it's time for us to follow a new path. If you are getting a sudden spark of inspiration or an idea that's coming to your mind that kind of feels like enticing to chase, this is time for us to move towards those small little like bits of energy that we're getting, okay? Bits of thought and whatnot. Because again, it is leading you to spreading your wings more than ever. It is leading you to the butterfly stage, which the butterfly is a symbol of freedom, and it's also a symbol of transformation. You are going through a major transformation, and the firefly, that little spark, is leading you to that transformation. So this transformation is going to bring a lot of financial change for you. This may even bring a career change for some of you. But this is time to go in that direction and to follow it and to trust it. The air signs, the fact that we have two air signs here, can also symbolize, for one, it may symbolize that you may be an air sign, or you may have a lot of air sign stuff in your chart, like air sign, sun, moon, or rising, which is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. But if not, this reading still applies to you regardless. But the air sign is a lot of like mental stimulation. Your mind may be on overdrive. And even if so, that's okay, because it's kind of like leading you to a new path, and it's sort of like your mind is working really hard, but it's leading you to somewhere. So trust the process. Trust the process. It's all in good alignment, okay? The air sign energy also brings with it new interests. So we may find ourselves wanting to research more, get new mental stimulation, or we may find ourselves being curious a lot. And again, just trust that curiosity, okay? The next two cards, and guys, it is so interesting that the next card we have Into the Unknown, and that's exactly the energy that I was picking up on when we were talking about the firefly energy, about going into that enchanted forest and not really seeing a lot, but then trusting. You know, she's literally blindfolded, so it's kind of like we don't see the end result. We don't really know where we're going. We don't really know what the outcome is going to be. We don't really know where this spark or where this firefly is leading us. We don't know where this idea is leading us, but this is about trusting the process. So again, the universe is coming through with that message. Spirit is coming through with that message of trust the process. This is leading you where you are meant to go. Okay, this is leading you, so trust the process. We may not see the full outcome yet. We may not understand the full path. We may not even see how we're going to get there yet, but we have to take one step at a time, because the firefly only illuminates what's directly in front of us. We only see the next step, and then the firefly moves a little bit more, and then we see the next step, and we see the next step, and we see the next step. So this is trusting the process, okay? Just like driving a car at night. We can't see the entire road ahead of us, but the lights show us just enough to where we know how to move forward and how to keep moving forward and how to keep moving forward to our destination. That's exactly what you are going through right now. And then the next card we have is details, details. Some of you may be like ultra focused on the details, wanting to have everything figured out before you take action. And this card is a reminder to let you know that we don't need to have everything figured out. Again, just like the firefly or just like driving a car at night, you don't see the entire path ahead, but you know that you are moving there. As long as you can see at least, you know, that 12 feet in front of you when you're driving, you're good. Just keep moving forward, keep moving forward. And you know, we obviously know that we're gonna get to our destination. So this is a reminder that we don't need to have everything figured out, although having some sort of plan does help. So as much as you can plan, do it. But this is a reminder that you don't need to plan out everything. You don't need to be ultra focused on the details, okay? I'm also noticing that we have a 7 here and then we have a 7 here. The 7 energy is a indication of higher learning. A lot of you are going through higher learning right now, where there's going to be new information coming through. This is almost like a spiritual awakening. This is trusting the process, needing to listen to your intuition a lot more. And that is something that is just happening right now for you. Trusting your intuition a lot more. I'm noticing we're also having a lot of red coming up in your reading. And the red is an indication of awakening and stepping into like a new you. It also symbolizes blood, which is life force energy. Of course, our blood. Sometimes, you know, we think about blood in a bad way because we think about blood like, ooh, blood and gore. It's like bad. Blood is also our life force energy. It brings oxygen through our veins. It is that beautiful path. And it keeps us alive, right? So I'm seeing more aliveness, more energy coming into your life, more passion. Red is that passion energy. So this spark is leading you towards more passion. So this is about trusting that process and going forward with it anyway, okay? Moving forward anyway. Then the next card that we have the safe travel card. Also, we have the number 22 on it. And if I'm not mistaken, we were just talking about 22 earlier on in this reading about how 2s are a prominent, because we had the 2 right here and then the 8, and then I was feeling the 2 energy. Interesting. Some of you, okay, so 2s may be following you around group number 4. It's interesting that the double 2 equals a 4 and you guys are group number 4, so that's kind of interesting. But, okay. The 2 energy, we already talked about what that means, so I'm not going to go over it again, but very interesting that we have that synchronicity coming up again. That's wild. Okay, but anyway, safe travel. I feel like this fits your group so well. Some of you may be reluctant to move forward towards something because it's walking into the unknown a little bit, right? We have walking into the unknown, and just like the enchanted forest example that I was talking about, some of you may be worried. You may be worried about the outcome. You may be worried, like, what if I follow this spark and what if I fail, or what if I run into this, or what if I run into that? Like, how am I going to get through this? How am I going to walk into this unknown area and pursue something that I don't have it all planned out? So some of you are focused on that plan. Some of you are so ultra focused on these details. This is an indication to keep moving forward. This is an indication. This is a reminder directly from Spirit saying safe travel. You are fine. You are protected. You are being divinely guided. So you can follow that firefly safely. That firefly is safe to follow. That inspiration that you're going to get that feels in alignment, that feels exciting for you, it is safe to follow that. Yes, you're going to have to maybe step outside of your comfort zone a little bit in order to follow that new spark. It may be a little bit challenging, but Spirit is coming through saying it is safe to move in that direction. We may feel like we have a blindfold on. We may feel like, okay, but I've never done this before. And when we haven't done something before, it can feel unfamiliar, and unfamiliarity can feel a little bit scary. But here's an indication of safe travel. So you are safe on your journey. You are being divinely protected. Of course, it's good to use caution regardless. Caution is good, but we shouldn't be overly cautious to where we stop ourselves and where we limit ourselves from moving forward at all, okay? So this is all really important stuff to remember. So with that being said, let's get into some tarot cards here to get some more information on your readings. So group 4, let's see what kind of energy we have going on for you and what are some of these other big changes. Definitely seeing finances shifting and changing for you, and your path changing, because 2s can indicate that our path is changing, which makes sense. You're stepping into the unknown. There could be things like unexpected stuff going on in your life where it seems out of your control, but this is to kind of like push you into that new direction. Oh, we also have the Strength card. So this is about building up inner strength, inner confidence about getting to where you really want to go. So this is also about taming that lion that maybe wants to control us, that inner self that maybe wants to control. This is us overcoming ourselves and becoming in control of our own self, our own body, our own mind, our own emotions, so that we're not being held back. So Strength is a very powerful card, very connected to the sign of Leo, which is also about confidence. So having enough confidence in yourself. I'm seeing this inner confidence being built up with you within these next 2 years. And these next 2 years are going to bring tons of change, tons of transformation. And I'm really seeing you following a new path. So there's a new path opening up for you, group 4. And it's going to be very exciting to follow it. We also have the 3 of Wands being reversed. So some of you may be reluctant to go on this journey. Some of you may be reluctant to follow this firefly, to follow this spark. And this card is coming up to let me know that, again, it's safe to travel. It's safe to move forward. We need to overcome that fear. We don't need to fully let go of our caution, because caution is a very beautiful thing to have, and we need to have that beautiful balance between caution and also expansion. It's not good to be too far on either side of that, obviously, because otherwise we don't move forward, or otherwise if we don't have any caution at all, that's also not good for obvious reasons. But I'm seeing more balance coming into your life where you're able to actually move forward and have this inner strength where there's a lot less fear in your life. You're becoming a lot more confident in your inner self, a lot more strong in your inner self, where we're not holding ourselves back so much. Ace of Wands being reversed. So some of you may put your dreams and desires and your sparks on the back burner. Some of you may kind of like get a spark or get an idea that comes your way, but you don't act on it. The Ace of Wands being reversed is not taking action on a spark that you get. And in that case, if that is you, we don't really end up progressing forward, and we don't really reach where that spark could be taking us. So if we get a new idea and we're like, oh my God, wouldn't it be amazing to reach that goal or get to this thing and attain this? But if we don't take action on it, we're never going to get there. And the Ace of Wands reversed is this card of not taking action. The Three of Wands reversed is a card of not taking action. And what the universe is letting me know is you're in this stage right now of building up inner strength in order to take this action. And the big change that's coming for you, group number 4, is taking action. That's that big change. But right now you're in the stage of building up enough inner strength prior, okay? So I'm seeing you going through a process of building up a lot of inner strength, but when the time comes, what I'm hearing is this, the Firefly and the Ace of Wands energy are so similar. It's that little spark, the initiation. So I'm seeing you being like just initiated into this new spark, and it's like, it's time to follow it. So again, it comes through not focusing too hard on the details, because when we do, we end up just, you know, getting caught within details. We can plan forever, you know what I mean, before we begin something. We could literally plan forever. There's not a moment where anyone can be like, oh, that's the max amount of planning that I could ever do. Couldn't plan anymore. We could literally plan endlessly for something. We could think of all the different outcomes. But if we do that, if we plan endlessly, we're obviously not going to end up taking action. We're not going to end up doing something. There has to be a balance of, you know, having an idea of what you want to do and having enough, you know, thought within the process to understand, like, and be, you know, kind of prepared for what might come our way. But it's also important to also begin and realize that we're going to learn as we go, and we can make adjustments as we go. It's good to have a little bit planned out, but if we're just stuck in the planning stage, we could plan forever if we wanted to, but we're never going to get anything done if we just continue to plan. So for example, like if somebody wanted to build an iPhone, literally if somebody wanted to build an iPhone, you could plan out that process endlessly, but until you start taking action, you're not going to be able to plan out everything, because things are going to change once you get to the actual action stage of building it and doing it. So for you, the message from the universe for you, group number 4, is to realize that we could plan endlessly, but until we take action, we're never going to get there. We're never going to get there through planning alone. And even if we plan, there's still going to be other things that we run into. There's still going to be other things that come up, okay? Then we also have this World card. World card is closing on an old chapter of your life. So it's time to close out the old chapter. And it's also, I'm hearing close the book. So if you're still planning, and if you're still like, oh, I need to do this, 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 I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready yet. If you're still in that stage, it's time to close that book. The World coming up, it's time to close that book. It doesn't mean that you need to be done with planning forever, but it just means like, get started. Start taking action. We can always open up that book as we go along, and if we're learning new things, we can always open it back up and plan a little bit more, but this is time to just get started. I'm hearing the words of just get started, because we can't move forward without action, okay? So now we're gonna go through 2 different decks of cards, and we're just gonna get some advice cards from Spirit, because Spirit has been coming through with some great advice for these groups. So yeah, we have the Surprises card. Under the most ordinary stone is an undisturbed garden. Okay, so you may think that like, oh, I need to plan it out in order to be the best possible, in order to come up with a completely like new idea and figure it all out before I get started. This is the surprise, is that you could do things in an ordinary way. You could even like, you know, just get started with what you know right now. Get started with what you know right now. And you may find that getting started with whatever you know right now and whatever you have right now is going to lead you to something that you're actually really looking for. It's going to lead you to that garden oasis that you've been wanting. If you're wanting to do something unique, if we don't have enough practice within this field, if we're not moving forward and taking action, we may never turn over that stone that we need to, where our goal and our answer is awaiting us. So it's time for us to just get started, because you're going to be surprised that that's where you're going to find your answer, is by moving forward and just getting started anyway with what you have and with where you are right now. We also have the Renew card. So nature continuously renews itself year after year. So just because you get started with what you have right now doesn't mean that that's what it's always going to be. You don't need to be the most advanced person to begin right now. You can renew yourself as you go, and as you learn, you can become something more. We also have the Path card coming up. Wander on the path less traveled. What you find might surprise you. Okay, so we have two cards that are kind of like surprises says to kind of like go underneath the ordinary stone. So this is to me, this is a sign to kind of start with where you are right now. And the path is going to open up. The path that you truly want is going to open up for you as you continue to travel with, you know, what you have right now. Move forward and take action with what you have right now is going to lead you to more. So now we're just going to get one last card. This is some advice from Spirit here with these cards. And we've been getting some beautiful advice with these ones. So let's see. Group 4. What else does Spirit have to say for group 4? All about their next big changes. So we have 2 cards for you. We have, guys, we literally have the card of move. And what was I telling about taking action? I cannot believe the synchronicity and the exact preciseness of these cards for each group so far. It's just been wildly amazing. So the move card. It is stagnant, my dear, this energy you are carrying. It feels stuck within you, just sitting there, deep in your belly, resting upon your shoulders, etched across the lines of your face, like an old rusty gate that simply won't open. But notice, my love, how easily the gate begins to work again when it is oiled and painted anew, awoken from its dormant position, when it is simply moved again. You are no different, dear one. You too simply need to move. You are not too old. It is not too late to do something. It is not, you know, we are capable of moving. We are capable, even if we think like, oh, I'm not capable of it, or oh, I should have started that sooner. Whatever the case may be, this card, my goodness, does it ever fit with your group? I'm seeing so much more movement coming your way, and that is the next big change that I'm seeing for you. We also had one other card that came up, and it says, learn. Okay. Sometimes that text is a little hard to read. Okay, so learn. The time is upon you to broaden your horizons, but it doesn't have to be in a traditional sense. For not all education takes place in a classroom, and not all learning is found within books. Ooh. What speaks to your soul right here, right now? Become hungry for it. Chase after it. Immerse yourself in anything and everything there is to know about what this voice is telling you to learn. The Firefly, you guys. I cannot believe how well these cards fit. It just blows my mind. The Firefly is calling you to learn as you go. We don't need to learn it from books. We don't need to plan it all out. We learn as we go. It's time to move forward and learn through moving forward. And it is going to open up new doorways for you. And that is what I see happening. And I'm seeing finances increasing for you, and just whole new paths opening up in general. So that is what we have for you, my beautiful group number 4s. Hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I would love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye. Okay, group of 5, if you chose this pile, then this is going to be your reading, so let's get right into it. Okay, so group 5. We have the Untitled, which is Growing Together card coming out for you. Growing Together, I'm seeing you kind of having a really close, important person in your life that is helping you reach your next potential or a higher potential of yourself. This growing together is almost making me feel like you're going to have somebody in your life that has like a similar goal or is kind of like trying to do the same thing right now. So for example, you may have a friend that both of you are trying to open up a business, and then you can kind of almost do it together. Or maybe both of you have certain health goals and both of you are like holding each other accountable to reach it. But I'm seeing like somebody in your life where you have a similar goal with. This could even be a close partner of yours to where you have a certain goal, such as like, oh, we want to like move to blah, 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 or we want to move to a bigger house, or we're wanting to take the next step together, or all these different things. But I'm really seeing a very important big change happening, and it's happening because of a relationship in your life. So this could be a friendship, or this could be a romantic partnership, or this could even be a family member or a business partner or something like that. But I'm seeing you reaching a new height. and reaching and striving for more. So whatever it is that's kind of going on in your life right now, group number 5, I'm seeing a very important supportive person right next to you where you guys are reaching and striving for something more, and it's on a very similar level as each other. And so you two are almost supporting each other to take each other to this next level together. I'm seeing you like learning a lot. I'm seeing you growing so much. And the number that we have on top of here, the 3 and the 7, equal a number 10, which in numerology is a number 1. And the number 1s indicate a new beginning. So a lot of you are wanting to kind of have a new beginning in your life in some way, whether again, that be opening up a business, moving to a new house, having new health goals, wanting to change your life, wanting to have new personal goals, whatever the case may be. There is a lot of growth here, and it is happening through the inspiration and support and collaboration even of maybe another person. And it's helping you kind of reach a new personal kind of level or goal that you have. So that is like kind of the next big change that I see for you. And I think, you know, since this is a general reading, this can apply to you in so many different ways, but I'm seeing that very soon, like possibly over the next 3 to 7 months, this 3 and the 7 are really sticking out to me timing wise. So the next 3 to 7 months, I'm seeing this closeness with this relationship and this person in your life, and really starting to stick to a new goal and really starting to reach to a new goal together. And it's either that you're both just kind of heading in the same direction and supporting each other, or you're both like doing it together and it's actually like a collaboration or something, but it's really helping you reach new heights here. Okay, and the next 2 cards that I have for you, these ones are kind of indicating where you're coming from, the you that is now, and then the you that you are becoming. So the you that you are now is this mouse energy, and you are becoming the wolf energy. The mouse energy is kind of very squeaky, it's cute, it scurries along, and it like gets what it's done, and it finds what it's looking for. So you may be in this stage where you're trying to like find something and you're kind of scurrying around like you really want to do something. Mouses also have a very heightened sense of smell, and it really brings them to where they're going. So for you, one of your senses may be heightened at this time. You may be seeing something or sensing something a lot more. So for example, if you want to get to a new health goal, you may be feeling like your body is very sensitive to certain foods, or maybe you're feeling like, oh, I'm really noticing my bloat lately, or I'm really noticing this lately whenever I do this or this. So somehow there's something in your life right now that's attuning your senses to it. And it's attuning you to it because it's an area that you may need to change or work on. So for example, if we're noticing like, I'm feeling like my senses of living in this current space, I feel like I'm outgrowing it, or I feel like my senses are feeling like I'm ready for the next stage with my partner, or my senses are telling me this or that. Like there's something kind of going on right now where we're getting these heightened senses that are telling us that we need to either kind of go in a new direction or reach for something more, or to kind of create some changes in our life. And you're coming into the wolf energy, and the wolf energy is very instinctual, but it's also very determined. It's a little bit of a, wolves are almost nocturnal as well. So some of you may be going through a stage where maybe we're going to be staying up later at night, or maybe we're going to be, I'm getting like staying up later at night, or also, again, following instincts. Both of these animals go on their instincts very well. And these are also connected to the earth element, both of these cards. So what I'm seeing in the earth element is that there's a new foundation kind of being laid for you. There's more permanence that you want in your life. And I feel like you're really wanting to set the stage. I'm hearing the word set the stage for something more. And you're kind of just following your instincts. And you may even be kind of like hinting at certain things to be like, okay, like, is it this or is it that? You may be trying new things. I'm seeing you kind of going around, like this mouse energy is sort of like, let's try out this, let's try out that, let's try out that. It's like sniffing it out with its senses. So I feel like you're kind of like having your feet wet in different pawns and sort of sniffing out different options for yourself in the moment of where you're going to go. But you're about to step up into this wolf energy where I think there's going to be a lot more surety on your path. The mouse isn't as much of a sure energy, but they're a very powerful energy nonetheless, especially with their senses. But the wolf is this very, like, it's a more mature and a lot more like go-getter energy. So I'm seeing you stepping into this very determined energy, and it's no longer feeling like we need to like sniff out our direction. The wolf is very directional and he knows where he's going, and he's not afraid to like look somebody in the eyes and be like, this is exactly what I'm thinking. This is exactly what I want. Like, I feel like you're going to be so much more sure of yourself over the next 3 to 7 months, especially with determination around a certain goal that you have, or a certain, personal thing that you want to reach, a personal milestone that you want to reach. You are very determined. This wolf energy is coming out of you over the next little while, and it is helping you reach that goal for sure. So you are transforming from the mouse into the wolf. But first you got to sniff out exactly which kind of direction that we're going in, exactly what it's going to look like. And then the unstoppable determination is coming to take over. So the next couple cards, we also have the Sad Embrace card, and we also have Storm Fields. Interesting. Some of you may be having weird dreams lately. I just need to say that off the bat. Some of you may be having some interesting weird dreams, such as dreams about storms, tornadoes, big waves, tsunamis, like other things. If you're having weird weather dreams about different sort of weather disasters, this is an indication that there's going to be a lot of change. There's something coming through to change up your life. So that is what this is indicating. There's something coming through, and it's calling you to change up your life. It's calling you to destroy old habits, is what the storm fields is coming through to indicate. So if you've been having those dreams, this is a clear indication that it's trying to help you end old habits that no longer work for you. In order for you to step up to this new level in your life and set the stage for this new kind of era, there is habits that need to end. There is habits that we need to completely destroy, but we're going to need to replace them with something else. Some of you may be finding it hard to like leave behind old habits. Some of you also may be finding it hard. There could be even maybe we've recently went through a loss in our life for some of you, or it may just be us. Again, this could be connected to just ending an old habit that we're really emotionally attached to, and it's like, that's really difficult. Or this could be the ending of something in your life. So some of you, if you just went through like a breakup, or maybe we've just experienced some sort of loss in our life, this is indicating that your life right now, there's a lot changing up right now. There's a lot that's happening to change up your life. It's calling you to end old habits. This is calling you to shift your life, to shed the old you. Okay? Use your instincts. This is time to get determined about what it is that you want. I really see you, if you've lost a relationship in your life recently, I'm seeing you changing up your life entirely. And you are going to be finding somebody that really resonates with you. This Growing Together Untitled card, you are going to find somebody that actually really grows with you rather than apart. That is going to be your next thing, especially if you've recently lost somebody, or if you've experienced a lot of change in your life. Some of you, this could even be losing a job. There's a lot of change happening for you. I can tell you that. There's something that's shifting and changing, and it's to close out a chapter. Both of these cards are a 9 in numerology. The 4 and the 5 equal a 9, and then we have a 9 over here. So we have this really beautiful balance. We have this 1 and this 9, and both of those are consecutive because right after the 9 we get 10, which broken down in numerology is another 1. So this is the ending of a cycle to begin a new cycle. If there's been a lot of change in your life, or if you're about to kind of go through a lot of change, this is to close out an old chapter so that you can really connect and grow into what you're meant to become. This is happening for you, not to you. So if you've been going through a lot of these unexpected changes, such as losing a job, losing a relationship, or just unexpected other just shifts happening in your life, this is a huge indication, group number 5, that this is happening for you. This is helping you connect, to grow together, to literally connect with what you truly are meant to connect to. It's interesting that you're also group number 5, because that deals with unexpected change. The number 5 is unexpected change. And these two cards kind of together are giving me this unexpected change energy. So if you've been having these weird dreams lately, it's indicating that you're actually on the right path. And I know that might sound counterintuitive. You're like, but I don't want to be on this path of like major change and whatnot. That's like out of my control. This is happening for you. This is not happening to you, group number 5. This is happening for you. And I'm seeing you connecting to somebody really deeply. This could be a friendship. This could be like a different partner. This could be like, or a partner in general, depending on like what sort of changes are happening for you. This could be like your romantic partner. This could be your friend, a family member, whatever the case may be. You are getting closer to somebody, and it is going to inspire you. I really feel like you're going to be fueled by this. Like, you may have somebody in your life who's going through a similar thing and want similar outcomes as you, want similar goals. It is going to propel you forward more than ever. There is so much change coming for you, but it's to shift you onto the right path. So a huge message I'm getting is to trust the universe right now. And I know how hard that may seem, and you might be like, well, why would I trust the universe right now with all this change? Imagine like what I'm seeing. Okay, what I'm seeing, this is the best metaphor that I could use for this. Okay, imagine an animal that like lives kind of in a not so good environment, but that environment is all that animal's ever known. And so it doesn't really know of a better life. And let's say that we rescue that animal and we're like, you know what, you could live so much better of a life. But during the rescuing process, you know, it's losing its home, it's losing its current environment, it's losing, you know, what it's familiar with. And it's probably in a stage of like grieving and loss. Right? And it's like, oh my God, like, why am I losing all this? And then all of a sudden you bring it to its beautiful oasis where that animal's really meant to be and where it can thrive and where it can meet other animals that are in total alignment with it and, you know, treat it so well with so much love. You know, imagine bringing it there and it's just like, trust the process, trust the process. Like, the universe right now is coming through for you, group number 5, especially if you're going through a lot of shifts and changes right now in your life. The universe is coming through, spirit is coming through, your guides, I'm feeling your guides, I got goosebumps just now. Your guides are coming through, group number 5, and other people's guides don't always come through in these readings. In fact, it's like more rare than not that other people's guides come through, but your guides are coming through, group 5, and they're coming through strong. I'm getting goosebumps after goosebumps after goosebumps while I'm saying that. Goosebumps always mean truth. Woo! Goosebumps are like all over my body. They're down my legs, down my arms. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about my goosebumps, but regardless, your guides are coming through right now, and they're like, please trust the process. We are transporting you to your new oasis where you're going to thrive and you're going to love this new place, but it's going to come with a lot of change, so we need to trust the process. And, you know, we're going to have to maybe do some stuff, and we're going to have to be determined on these new goals and kind of use our senses to kind of sniff out this new environment that we're in and to get more determined. But this is growing you into somebody who's very strong, for one. And I also think that it is connecting you, growing together. It is connecting you to where you truly are meant to be and the path that you're truly meant to be on. And it's a lot better than your previous path. I can promise you that. It's a lot better than your previous path. So trust the process. The next couple cards, we have prosperity. So for one, I think the new path that's emerging for you in your life is going to bring you a lot more abundance, a lot more joy, and a lot more happiness. I am seeing so much more happiness. It's literally as if you are being taken away from your grape tree that only produced like 3 grapes per year. And you're like, oh my God, this is great. I'm getting 3 grapes per year. But the universe is like, you cannot survive on that. That's not all what we have in store for you. And they're transporting you to a farm that has a grape tree, a plum tree, an orange tree, all these things. And you're like, oh, I see. I was really missing the old grape tree, but now I see why I got transported. Like, this is way better. So prosperity. I really see as you're kind of shifting to this new life, there's a lot more here for you. There is a lot more here for you. As this tree grows so strong, so fine, that's talking about you. As you grow so strong, so fine, so may I prosper from the universal divine. Trust the universe. It is bringing you to the divine prosperity that you deserve, my love. Oh, and then we have true love come to me. True love shall come to me. As I do will, so mote it be. You are getting in alignment with what is really meant for you. You're getting into alignment with what true love really is. I think you're going to be connecting to people who really, really, really love you, group 5. I see you connecting to a path that's so meant for you where you're going to feel more love. And even if it feels like it's a huge shift right now, again, I am hearing the words, trust the process, trust the process. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get some tarot cards on this group for you now. So let's see, group 5. What big changes are going on for my lovely group 5s? We have the sun card. Ooh, the sun is going to start shining. You are not going to feel like this change is... this change is trust the process. The sun is about to come shining again. The sun is a reminder that there's going to be a rebirth, and it's almost like your childhood innocence comes back out to play and you feel fun. That childlike funness is going to come back out for you, and it's going to be so nice. And I'm honestly seeing you with a friend and just basking in the joy of something. I'm seeing you really basking in the joy of something, creating something. I really think a friendship is involved with this, or some other person. We do also have, you know what, another message that I'm getting. So for those of you who also aren't going through, if you're not going through these major changes right now, some of you may have gone through some deep turmoil in the past with relationships, and now you're finally in true love. You're finally in this true love stage. Although if some of you are currently going through a loss or experiencing like a disconnect from somebody, I see you connecting with somebody who's very much meant for you. I'm seeing you being so much more accepted. I'm seeing you really taking responsibility also for your own life and making the changes that you need to make in order to get where you really want to go. I'm seeing you no longer sitting and feeling sorry for yourself. Like, look at this card. It's almost just like the sad embrace. Look at this. They're sitting in the exact same position here. This card came up reversed, meaning you are letting go of past sadness. I'm seeing the sun just shining so bright again. We also have the Chariot that came up, and we also have the Lovers being reversed. Some of you have experienced like a falling out with a relationship. This is leading you in a whole new direction. This is pushing you to go to a whole new direction, and to also begin focusing on yourself. You deserve more. I'm hearing that for some of you. Some of you, group 5, you deserve more. And the universe was like, no. With this, we need to just completely shift your direction right now, because this is not meant for you. You deserve more. You deserve more prosperity. You deserve true love. You are meant to grow together with your person. And this is shifting you to a place where you can grow in a beautiful way and be truly loved. I'm also seeing there's a shyness. This mouse, there's been a shyness within you in your relationships where maybe we haven't set clear boundaries. Maybe we feel sneaky sometimes. Okay, I'm getting an interesting message. Oh my gosh. If this doesn't resonate, then I don't know. But I'm getting a message right now, and it's like very, Spirit is like, please talk about this. And I'm like, okay. The mouse, there's been a sneaky energy. Some of you have been kind of sneaky in your relationships because you have a heightened sense. You have heightened senses in your relationships. This message is so specific. I'm so sorry. You have heightened senses in your relationships, and you can tell when somebody's lying to you. You can tell when somebody's not being their authentic self, but you're almost too shy to set proper boundaries. You're almost too shy to stand up for yourself because you feel more like a mouse. You feel more like, I don't know, almost like, oh, I deserve that or something. I'm seeing you stepping into this wolf energy where you have these instincts and you trust them and you're not afraid to freaking stand your ground and to be like, I deserve better than that. I deserve freaking better than that. But you were the mouse energy, and you may even still be the mouse energy in this moment right now, but you're becoming the wolf. You're on the process of becoming the wolf. Okay? The mouse energy does not know how to stand up for itself very well. It is shy. It likes to lurk in the shadows. It doesn't like to be seen. It doesn't like to talk about what it knows. It doesn't like to it's squeaky. And so even if there is confrontation, the mouse is kind of just like, so kind of feeling this way. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, kind of have this weird instinct. The wolf is the opposite of that, okay? The wolf is the opposite. The mouse has its own really good energy, so I don't want to make the mouse energy seem bad, but this is just the message that I'm getting here, okay? And the wolf energy is this very much determined. He's ready to stare somebody down. Look at him. He's like, let me stare you down. Like, I know what's going on. I'm standing up for myself. I don't deal with this shit. Like, I don't The wolf energy is he's not afraid of confrontation. You are coming into that energy where you're not afraid to set boundaries. You're not afraid to stir up the pot if it needs stirring. But then again, you don't look to stir the pot, especially if that's a waste of energy, because the wolf also knows when to retreat and knows when it's just like, you know what, this is a fight that I'm just don't care about. It's not worth the energy to fight it. But it also knows when to confront and when to stand its ground. And so what I think that you're learning is a lot of self-respect. I'm seeing a lot of self-respect being learned right here, especially in relationships. This message took a whole turn. So hopefully this is making sense for those of you who chose this pile. I don't know. But this message took a whole kind of turn here from what I was what we kind of originally started off with, but whatever. Spirit is just guiding this where it is going. So we're just trusting the process. But look at you, you are focused so much more on you. You're going through a whole self-transformation, group 5. You're coming out as the wolf. You're no longer going to deal with ish. Okay? You're on a whole new direction. The universe put you on this path because the universe was like, no, you're not meant for this. You are not meant to just be a shy mouse your whole life. You are not meant to put up with people who aren't treating you the way you're meant to be treated. You are not meant to put up with that. You are not meant to put up with that. Okay, group 5? And even if this message doesn't deal with maybe a romantic relationship, this could deal with friendships, this could deal with all sorts of different stuff, okay? Oh my gosh. Of course we have the Justice card coming out. Fairness, equality, dishing out what's fair, laying down the law, laying down the rules, putting up the boundaries where they're meant to be put up, and not dealing with people who don't respect that. This is self-respect, and this is valuing yourself right here. This is what we have. You're going through a time of learning self-respect and self-value, group 5. Hugely self-respect and self-value. And it's going to bring you back to the message that we started off with. This is going to bring you to something. You're growing together with something. And it's going to bring you to so much more abundance. So yeah, that first message also still makes sense here. This is helping you grow into who you're meant to be. You're meant to change. Yeah, you were not meant to have to put up with stuff, but this happened for your benefit, to turn you from the mouse to the wolf. All these situations happened in order for you to turn from the mouse into the wolf. Okay? And the wolf knows when to pick and choose its fights. It still knows when to walk away. It still knows when to go off and do its own thing, but it also knows very much how to stare down and put up those walls and boundaries. So Whew, what an intense little like side sort of thing that we went on there that was very unexpected, but here we are. And then justice again, laying down that law, creating value and boundaries. This is justice. This is time for you to create values and boundaries in your life, group 5. So yeah, let's see what else we get over here. So let's see what else Spirit has to say for our group 5s. These are some beautiful like advice cards. So forbearance. Ooh. Do not be deterred by the thorn amidst the roses. Okay, this is about going for what you want. So if you've been hurt before, it doesn't mean that you need to hold yourself back from what you really want. If you want love, but you've been hurt in love before, don't be deterred by love. This is letting you know if you've been like hurt by love or relationships before, don't be deterred away from love and relationships. Don't fear love and relationships, okay? Just because you had a thorn once doesn't mean that you're gonna get a thorn every time. Doesn't mean that, you know, all love is thorns. Love is also roses, and we can pick the rose at the top, but you're learning that, okay? So let's see what else we get for my lovely group 5s. Roses aren't all thorns, okay? So just because you had a thorn once doesn't mean that the next one's gonna be a thorn. The next one may be a rose, okay? So we have humility. Flowers are unaware of each other's beauty. They bloom regardless. So this is about not comparing yourself to other people, not comparing yourself to like other things that you've seen online. So, you know, for example, if you're seeing a lot of other people that are having what you want and whatnot, flowers are unaware of each other's beauty. They bloom regardless. This is time for you to bloom regardless of what other people may think of you, regardless of what other people may say about you, because at the end of the day, if we stop ourselves from living based on the opinions of other people, we're not going to be living, right? You know, because everyone's going to have opinions. We can't run away from opinions. And think about, you know, when you're in heaven and you're reflecting on your life, do you want to reflect on your life and be like, wow, I didn't chase after my dreams because I was so scared of what this person may say about me. I was so scared of this and I was so scared of that. Like, at the end of the day, like, who cares? Like, let's just live our lives because, you know, we're only here once, so let's do it. We're also here multiple times, but what I mean by once is like, we don't really incarnate to our same bodies again. So we're only here as this person, this version of ourselves here right now. So let's enjoy it, okay? Here we have the card, let go. Enjoy the pulsing light of the firefly, but don't hold on too tight. Okay, so let go to me is letting me know that this is calling you to kind of like let go of the past, let go of like wanting to change it. You can enjoy and reminiscing about the past, but don't hold on too tight to where you can't let go of it. You can enjoy the memories, but let go of it at the same time. We also have patience. Everything can be accomplished at nature's pace. So, you know, when we're focused so hard on something, so for example, sorry guys, I cut out there for a second, but this patience card, everything can be accomplished at nature's pace. So for example, waiting for a flower to bloom. When we're staring at a flower, looking at it about to bloom, it's gonna look like it's not blooming at all. It's gonna look like it's not even moving. It's gonna look like it's stuck. So when you're so focused on something that you really wanna happen in your life and you're ultra focused on it, it's gonna feel like it's not moving. But when you like look away and you go live your life, all of a sudden when you come back, you're like, whoa, look at all that progress. Look at how crazy that happened. Like, whoa, all this is just happening. So this is a reminder to live your life. Don't focus so hard on the things that you want to happen right now, because when we do that, we don't really see a lot of progress or movement. But when we're just living our life and we have a balanced life, we have a balanced lifestyle, the progress that's happening in our life is going to be a lot easier. And we're going to notice a lot more progress. So patience, have patience and realize that everything's happening in divine timing. This doesn't mean don't work on your goals. This is absolutely like, hey, work on your goals, take action on the things that you want to take action on. That's so important. But at the same time, if we can focus on, all aspects of our life and have a well-rounded life, I think things are going to move by a lot faster for you rather than being solely focused on one thing. So we're just going to shuffle this last deck of cards now to get any last information on this reading. So these oracle cards have been coming through with like some crazy good answers. I feel like both of these cards are going to be relevant for you. So let's start with this one since this one popped up first. This one says adventure. Ooh, you can feel it, can't you? A gentle tug here, a soft push there. The steady whisper of adventure humming deep within your belly, begging you to come and dance with it. So, what are you waiting for? Make the change, take the risk, embark on the journey. You were never meant to thrive within anything. You were never meant to thrive within anything else. Ooh. That kind of stuck out. You were never meant to thrive within anything else but that which makes your soul come alive. You're meant to thrive in the things that make your soul come alive, group number 5. Okay, so chase after the things that set your heart on fire fully. Okay, and then we also have this card which says, wow, I cannot read that. Indulge. Okay, that says indulge. Sorry, the font is sometimes super hard to read, but yeah, that says indulge. So it says, I can't do this, I shouldn't do that. I really need to start. These are all quotes. So, I can't say this, I shouldn't do that. I really need to start, ... What if we did away with the lack and started living more fully? Breathing more deeply, laughing more loudly, crying more deeply, eating more heartily. What if the only thing we placed a limit on was how much we place limits on ourselves? Yes, let's put a limit to how many limits we put on ourselves. And so the question now becomes, what are you waiting for? The world is a juicy place, ripe and waiting for you to sink your teeth in. It is time to indulge in the pleasures of life, my beauties, my lovely group number 5s. This is a message from Spirit being like, honey, it is time to live your life. It is time to adventure. It is time to indulge. It is time to go into the things that set your soul on fire. Instead of, sulking about the past or having a hard time letting go of the past, it's time to bring adventure back in. It is time to bring indulgence back in. It's time to ask yourself, what do I love doing? Instead of saying you can't do something, instead of saying you shouldn't do something, instead of saying like, oh, I really need to start this, but then not doing anything and not taking action, let's just do it. Let's adventure. Let's do it. Okay. What if the only limit that we put on ourselves is how much we limit ourselves? Let's limit how much we end up limiting ourselves. And that expands us into more. Okay. So that is what we have for you, my beautiful group number 5s. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below if you want to see more videos like this in the future, because I'd love to have you there. And hopefully I see you in my next one. Bye.